There we go.
Greetings, my friends. I'd like to speak to you with honesty and with depth because the times we're living through really call for that. And most of us can feel it. We can feel democracy under strain. We can feel extreme. We can see extremism rising and old systems beginning to fracture. And a real sense that the world that we know it can't carry us forwards in the same way. And yet, alongside all of this, these challenges, something extraordinary is also happening. There are new paradigms of connection appearing and leadership and new forms of abundance emerging. You know, they're waiting for us, for people with clarity and courage and coherence to hold the field for them to come forward. And this is why, in a way, your presence really matters, because those of you listening to this, you've already explored consciousness with devotion and leadership and service, and you understand that spirituality is inseparable from action, from the way we lead and create and collaborate together. And so, I've put out for next year something called the Sage's Golden Path Retreats, and they're an invitation to step fully into this very level of being that I'm talking about. And they're 3 online retreats. They span nearly 16 months, and each of them is focused on a core dimension of life. First one is building a life of embodied purpose. The second one is the secret path from trauma to intimacy to transparency in our relationships and love. And the third one is releasing prosperity through the miracle field. And you can choose 1 or 2 or all 3. And many people have committed to the whole journey. And it's a living journey. It's not a checklist. It's a living journey. And at the heart of this work are the Gene Keys. Gene Keys is a long-established, incredible system designed to reveal the true scope of human potential at its very highest. And the Gene Keys map the path from our shadows, through gifts into what we call cities, the fully realized enlightened potential within each of us. And I think that's what makes the Gene Keys unique. And it's why we, myself and my team and our community, have devoted ourselves to these teachings, because they're the only system that we know that explicitly maps human enlightenment as lived potential. And that's powerful. So these retreats can help you discover your specific cities, your own style of a miraculous capacity. That's what I really wanted to share with you, because it's not vague and it's not woolly. It's precision technology for consciousness, the Gene Keys, and miracles are not like wafty things. They require grit, really gritty, and they require courage to face and integrate our shadows deeply, and discipline to align our inner coherence with outer action, and dedication, to allow life to move through you unimpeded. Real passion. So across these retreats, I'm going to be exploring with our big community how this awakened potential translates into outer impact in the world, and how purpose becomes service, and how love becomes the foundation of our new community, and how prosperity in business or wherever else becomes the conscious creation of value, with new systems, new economies, new ways of being together, rooted in a much higher coherence than we've ever seen before. So it's really a calling, not to escape the world, but to meet it fully, to come together as a field of mature, devoted, innovative leaders, and to cultivate this new level of coherence in ourselves so it can ripple outwards, and transform the world, around us. And one more thing to finish with. My particular passion is that the Gene Keys are a path of living contemplation. And contemplation balances the vertical path of spiritual liberation or awakening, with this horizontal path, which is different. It's cosmic exploration. And the two go together, but many of us have neglected this whole other side of our being, because we've been trained, many of us, to think only in terms of transcendence and ascension, and awakening. But contemplation is broad and horizontal. It's about play. It's about creativity. It's not about taking the direct and quickest path to the top of the summit of the mountain. It's about the meandering path. It's about taking the long path. It's about pausing and lingering and communing with each other and connecting. It's about bathing in awe, And this is essential. The gene keys are slow, they're deep, they're poetic, they're pervasive, they're somatic. They drip, drip, drip into your being, into the fabric of your life. And that's why our retreats are so long. And it's not that they demand a huge amount of time of you being online, not at all. Most of it is nothing. It's just you living your life. And the gene keys are just a scaffolding, that allow you, to find a new rhythm, a new pacing, a breath. Most of that time is timelessness. It's time so that the saturation of the teaching can kind of meet you, can get into you. Because only when you finally slow down in your life, all of us, can enlightenment actually catch us up. And so, if there's something that in you that recognizes the energy of what I'm saying, perhaps not as an idea, but as a sense of responsibility towards yourself and the world, I really invite you along on this journey with us. And if you're new to the Gene Keys, you're in for a real storehouse of surprises and gifts. So feel free to take a look and see how it works, and do the first retreat or do all three if you're really like a deep diver. And the future is ours. It's not waiting to be saved. It's waiting for us to be fully embodied. So I'd be most honored if you would consider bringing your genius and joining it with our already amazing community and come along for the ride through 2026 and beyond. Is a very, very pivotal year in the consciousness of our planet. So yeah, thank you for listening.